Hey, Mike with Mike's Bags, and today I am reviewing the Trinity by Lucky Bags. Of all the new bags that Lucky has released for the 2024 season, when I was looking at them, this was the one that I was most excited about. Let's go ahead, dive in, break this Trinity down, and I'll tell you what I found out about it. Start with materials. Let's start with the fast size. This is a material that we all know. This is the same fast size you find on the Surefire, same fast size you find on the Game Changer. It's I call it an 8.5 speed, so between 8 and 9. I think Lucky List says an 8, so you're looking at 8.5 somewhere. It's fast. It's great for pushing, collecting, slides of the board in pretty much any condition. So 8.5 on the fast side. Slow side. This is a pretty unique material. In fact, I don't know for a fact the only other material that I think is closest and maybe the same is the Grid by KDS. The carpet on that feels like it, looks like it, plays like it. I don't know if it's exactly the same. If not, it's very close to it. So if you're familiar with that Grid, then that's what you're looking at here. If you're not, it plays, I think Lucky calls it a 4-speed. Brand new, it played at probably about 5 or 6. It's broken, it's slowed down. It's probably now to about a 4.5. So I'm going with the 4-speed material or 4-speed on this material here. It's controllable. It's still fairly hole-friendly for a 4-speed material. In the grand scheme of things, it's not a hole-friendly material. But when you put it in perspective of a 4-speed material that's controllable, it's on the hole-friendly side. It's one of the more hole-friendly controllable materials that I've thrown so far. So 4, 8.5 for your speeds. Template-wise, this is a medium template, kind of that standard template you're finding on ACL bags now. You know, bag companies are getting a little scared of pushing the limits for too small, too big. So most of them are staying right in that middle. That's what you've got here. So medium template. It's a thinner bag. There's not a lot of fill in here, so you've got quite a bit of flop to it. For a carpet bag, this is an extremely floppy bag. There's some fill here, so you can get a grip, but it's still pretty loose. The fill in here it's a mixed fill, but it feels more and plays more like a flat fill. So it's got that flat disc fill that Lucky uses in their bags, but there is also some beads, I think, of some sort in here, but they're very small. It's not big beads, very small beads. So when you pick this bag up and feel it, it has the feel of a flat fill bag. It has the feel of like a Surefire or a Pro Sniper, which I'm familiar with. But there are some beads there, a little bit of a mix. So I guess it gives a little bit more volume, but not a lot. Hand feel wise, when you grab it, I can lock the bag down really well. It's not too floppy on that aspect. It has a nice fluid hand feel. The fill, because it's even though it's a mixed fill, it plays, like I said, it plays more like that flat fill. So very soft landing, very little kick to it. I mean, being a force material, it's going to kick. If you have an angle on your bag, you're going to get some kick. It's not going to kick as hard as a traditional more bead fill or more of a traditional mix fill will kick on you. You're not getting that. So if you're looking for a controllable bag, but you don't have the flattest of bags, this Trinity made what you're looking for on there. These are ACL stamped for the 2024 season, so you play an ACL event, Trinity is good to go for you. Playability-wise on this bag, this is really a bag, it depends on board conditions. Like faster boards, I think this is wonderful for running bag for bag, going in a hole like that. Normal speed boards, I think it's better for a little more of a control style game. I don't want to say a dirty style game, because probably the biggest negative, the biggest knock I have on this is because of the flop. Because the bag has a ton of flop to it, and it has that flat disc fill, not the flat fill mixed with some smaller beads. It doesn't have a lot of movement. It doesn't have a lot of bounce. Very soft landing, very forgiving, as I mentioned. But that also means it's hard to really shape the shot. I could throw some cuts with this, but I couldn't make those really harsh cuts that I can make with more of a traditional carpet bag, more of a fuller bag, more of a bead fill bag, or I could get more turn on it. It's the subtle cuts. It make cuts more like a faster bag would. This is a bag that, again, if you're a roll bag player, you can roll any bag. But for the average roll bag player, the below average player, this is not a bag roll. It's just too loose, too floppy. There's just too much flat fill in here. It's not a bouncy bag at all. It's not an easy bag to roll. So when it comes to shot shaping, this is not the best bag for that. You're not doing a lot of shot shaping with this, and that's why I struggle to say it's a great bag for a dirty style game. This material is controllable. I could put blockers up there. I could put blockers really when I wanted to, where I wanted to, no problem whatsoever. Collectability on this bag, even though it has some flop, it's looser, it wasn't that hard to collect. If it really went for the corner, I think sometimes it would accordion up a little bit and kind of go around it more than go through it. But if I took about a quarter of that bag and matched up a quarter of each bag and clipped it there, I didn't have a problem collecting bags. So the bag was pretty collectible. Even when the bags were hanging on the side, I didn't have a problem coming out and just grabbing them, pulling them, and taking them both in. So the bag, in my opinion, very collectible, especially for a looser bag. The forgiveness, you've got enough flop here that I felt like the bag was forgiving around the hole. I always talk about the landing zone And this is a bigger landing zone than a traditional carpet bag, a bigger landing zone than probably your average bag would have. There's enough flop there. This bag would go up, grab that hole, enough speed, it would spin around and come right back in. Again, I mentioned this material for being a 4-speed did a great job of melting the hole, great job of going in the hole. There were times that bags were left hanging. Something had to do with this material, just the friction, the resistance the material has of stopping the kind of, it wants to grip. And that's what, that's what makes this a slower material. If this bag didn't have that friction, it would play faster. So that's the trade-off. When you get a more controllable bag, you're going to lose some of that hole friendliness. It's that balance you got to have, and you're going to give it up. But as I mentioned, for being a controllable bag, it was on the more hole-friendly side of bags in this category, in this speed range. So I hesitate to call it hole-friendly because I don't think it is, but when you compare it to other bags like that, I'm hoping to make this clear, right? In the scheme of all bags, it's not hole-friendly. It's on the lower end of hole-friendliness. But in the scheme of 4-speed bags, it's on the upper end of that scale. Hope I made that clear. So it did a great job around the hole. I did find it sometimes wanted to hang on the hole. I think something had to do with the flat fill in here, all that flat fill. Even though it's a mixed fill, it's not a traditional mix. It just feels and plays more like a flat fill. So I felt like bags were left hanging. If they went up and grabbed the hole and didn't have enough speed, it stopped and left them hanging. Just putting a bag in the hole, it wasn't enough. I had to kind of come across and clip it, step out and grab it, or come with an airmail and try to drag it to really get the bag. I'd be a little more aggressive to go after that bag. The danger you run when you go after it, sometimes you end up leaving a bag, 2 bags off. You miss a little much, you end up with 2 bags. You try to throw a cut, the bag doesn't cut. Now you've got 2 bags on the side. You've given up 4 points to 2. So there's a little bit of that issue. And like I said, throwing blockers is wonderful. And you could get someone aggressive putting that blocker over there. And then, if I would throw a blocker on my opponent's side, what I want to do is then throw kind of a cut, and then come through my last bag, flip it over and collect it. Or put a bag up there, push, replace, flip over and collect it. That was kind of how I wanted to play. Again, you're not getting too crazy of going around bags. It's great for playing the occasional dirty round. It's not great for a dirty style game. So if you like to play an occasional blocker bag here or there, maybe you like to throw run bags in for a couple rounds, another round you're going to throw like a 3rd bag blocker or put a 1st bag blocker, and then just kind of mix it up. I think that's what it's for. And those like what type of player is this for? To me, this was designed because it's designed by Lucky. I think it was designed with a Lucky Bags player in mind. And what I mean is, if you throw a Surefire, if you throw a Pro Sniper, and you're looking for a bag for when, say, boards get too fast for those bags, or you want a bag that has a little more control, you want to play a dirty style game, this is where that's designed for. It has a similar feel in the hand to me to a Pro Sniper or a Surefire. So when you pick this up, you kind of get that same feeling. It's not as full. It doesn't have the beads that you would get in a more traditional carpet bag. So it kind of gives you that Surefire feel to it, but it has a little more control. And that's where I think if you throw Surefires, but you want a bag for when boards are faster, or you want a bag to play a more control game, I think this is for you. The other person it's for is if you're a carpet bag thrower, but you struggle to find people at blind draws or leagues to throw carpet bags with you. This is a carpet bag that a faster player, if you can get them to throw it, I think they're going to like it. It has the feel of a faster bag, so if you can put it in their hands, get them to throw a few rounds, I think they'll be happy to throw this with you as opposed to more traditional carpet bags. So let's get availability. Lucky has a website, luckycornhole.com. The bags are $100 for a set, $10 shipping, so $110 shipped to you. Not the cheapest bag by any means. It's also not the most expensive bag. It's kind of in that middle price range, creeping on the pricier side. $110 for an ACL stamp bag. Lucky makes good quality bags, great quality bags. I don't have an issue with quality on that. So I don't mind if this is the type of bag you're looking for, if you're looking to get in the carpet world, or if you fit one of those criteria that I mentioned just earlier about the type of players, and you're looking for a bag like that. $110 is not a bad investment. I think you're going to enjoy it. I think you're going to like it. I thank you guys so much for your support, and I thank you for watching.